My trans sister wants to legally change her name to my exact name without asking, but I think she's trying to erase my identity and become me. My sister is trans and has been in transition for about 2 years. We've always been close as siblings, and I have supported her through it all. In the beginning, she wanted to be called Stella, which is the first letter of her given name and also the first letter of my name. So, we all embraced her as Stella and it was great. Last week, I logged onto Facebook and saw that her name had changed to my name, my exact name. I thought it was a prank or something, but I called her immediately, and she said, "Yeah, I like that name, and I think it fits." No asking if it was okay or saying, "Gosh, I hope you don't mind," just total casual oblivion. My name is really uncommon, it's not in or something, so it's not some coincidence. I asked her if there was something to this and she just sounded like she really didn't get why I was even talking to her about it. My name is also my brand. I am a relatively well-known freelance designer and my name is the business name. So I'm knee-deep with my name, is what I'm saying. Then yesterday, I heard from one of her friends that she is planning on formally going through with a legal name change. I want to support her like I always have. We're so close and I've always been a huge advocate for her, but I am having an incredibly hard time accepting this. I talked to one of our mutual friends. She told me that the subject has been this huge thing in their circle of friends, with all these giant groups of Facebook messages where people were trying to figure out what was going on. Several thought the same change was some weird prank or something like I initially did. But so far, no one has actually talked to my sister about any of it. After going back and forth about it, I called my sister and we made plans to get together for dinner the following day, Saturday. That night, Friday, my sister went out to a Halloween party with some of her friends, and one of them decided that it would be a really great time to confront my sister about the name change and did so by saying completely untrue, inflammatory things about me. They said things like I was going to file a restraining order if she took my name, and that I was embarrassed about her being trans. So my sister calls me, drunk and crying, and she's hardly making any sense and I have no idea what is going on. I go pick her up and get briefed on what happened by someone. My sister is furious at me, but then she's also too drunk to really have a meaningful conversation or constructively direct her fury. I drove her home, set her up on my couch, and spent all night figuring out what exactly I was going to say. The next morning I talked to her and I said, basically, "I love you tons and you know that, and I've always supported you through everything, always. My name is my identity and it's important to me." She had been listening the whole time, then interrupted me and responded with the following. This is a direct quote. "Wow, but hurt much? All my years of support and undying love and advocacy, and I get a wow, but hurt much. So now I'm actually pissed and more realistic about the implications that us having the same name would have." She says, "You're making a big deal over nothing." I say, "My identity isn't nothing. It was like a Lifetime original movie." I ask her to tell me why we don't think this is a big deal. She says that people have the same name all the time, citing some of her classmates were both named Thomas, and so one went by Thomas B and one went by Thomas K. I said that isn't the same at all because we are directly related. It went around like this for a while and I was growing more frustrated. I was worried I was going to say something I would regret, so I had her call a friend to pick her up and get her out of there before I lost it. I told her I wanted her to think about this decision and if picking my name was being true to her unique self, and said that although we don't see eye on this right now, please just promise me you won't go through with a legal name change at this point. She rolled her eyes but agreed. But then she said, again, "I don't know why you're making such a big deal about this." Update: through the nudging of a friend, my sister got more regular, intensive counseling. She started seeing a new counselor and I think they really meshed. A lot came out in these, the biggest thing being my sister's extreme envy of my life, one that was so close to hers but so far away. She was envious that I was born in a female body and lived the life that she, from her point of view, could have easily had, one that was free from the painful struggles with identity. I was backing off on the name issue because everything was so intense and I felt like we would roll around to it eventually. It was just the manifestation of these complicated feelings. I really feel like she was just completely self-absorbed and genuinely not thinking about how her actions impacted anyone around her, and it hit her in that moment. Things are a lot better now, but we're obviously all still a work in progress. A couple of months ago she picked a name on her own that suits her to a T that we've embraced. We still have a long road ahead of us, but we are all much more unified now.